And welcome back to the Survivor Girl podcast. Happy Survivor Girl Sunday, everybody. I was tuning in live on YouTube so that way when you guys are joining me, I'm able to talk to you guys live on chat. So I just wanted to make sure that the sound was down so we're not cross coordinating there. There we go. I can talk tonight. It has been a extremely long week, but we're going to get into that. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this all up right now. So I'm glad that you guys are joining, hanging out with me here on YouTube, on Twitch, and later on SouthStateRadio.net. I'm very excited that they re-air me and all of the other podcasts that we have going on. So I'm glad that they are supporting us, and we appreciate that over there at SouthStateRadio.net. You guys are awesome. We thank you. Not only do they share Survivor Girl, they share This Is My Brain, Don't Make This Weird, and we have more stuff coming on for Strange Friends Media, which is very exciting. But before I get into the Survivor Girl show, I just want to tell you guys that I am not a medical professional. I am not a therapist or any of that. I cannot treat or prescribe. I cannot help with any of those kind of things because I am not licensed to do so. However, with that being said, I am here to talk about my journey and other journeys of the people that, when they do join me as our guests, go through to help uplift, inspire, and hopefully help you feel that you are not alone. So as always, thank you guys, like I said, for joining me on Survivor Girl. It means a lot to me that you guys are here with me. And I kind of want to just do a recap. A couple episodes ago, we talked with Roxanne Paholka. If you guys didn't get a chance to check out that episode, please go back and take a look at that. As it was a very, very good episode. She talked about all kinds of different things with Corona going on and all the different stuff that she's dealt with and how she's doing after, like, a follow-up from the last time that we've seen her. And also I last week talked about polycystic ovarian syndrome and it being the awareness for PCOS this month. And also just a couple different things, all kinds of exciting things happening, things that are changing around in my life. A lot of busyness after kind of sitting still for a while. Still was working on podcasts and doing that stuff. We did some of that remote during when everything kind of started happening, and it kind of came down to a crawl. I really wasn't doing anything other than working on crafting and podcasts and that stuff, and working on some of my life coaching certificates. But really, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on, and then it just seems like this past month things have just picked up and have gone crazy. The past couple months, I should say, because I am now back to working my seasonal job at Bronner's, doing the ornaments for people, which I absolutely love, and I appreciate being a part of that family for my 6th season, and also going very strong with Dragonfly Boutique. It's been really cool. I've been working on different things, and I know I've talked about this quite a bit. I can't help it because I'm very excited about it, to have this opportunity. I just was offered to come to a store called Hometown Handmade, and yeah, it was incredible. This past weekend was grand opening. I had some people stop in that support and love, and man, it was busy. We had at least, I'd say, over 200 people or more for the first night of grand opening, which was very incredible, especially in these times when we don't really know. So we talk about supporting local, we talk about shopping local, and that's really what everybody did. The second day went just as well. So that's awesome and incredible. All of the things that are at the store are handmade by all of the crafters / vendors, if you will. That come into the store. So there's about 9 or so of us that have our handmade stuff there, and there are a handful of people out of those crafters that are able to do customs. For me, one of the things that I do is memory lenses, is what it's called. It's an eyeglass lens. I can take a pair of glasses from a loved one as a memorial and make a piece or a necklace, a unique piece of jewelry out of that. We're able to take those glasses that were your loved ones and memorialize them with a piece of jewelry. So that's pretty exciting, and I love being able to offer that and doing the recycling stuff, which is very cool. So if you guys are in Emily City, it's located at 150 Bancroft. You can go ahead and stop in there. The hours are Monday through Friday, I believe 10 to 7. I'm still new at the hours, so sorry guys. But if you can go over to the Facebook page, Hometown Handmade, you will see all the hours there and all the details and everything that's going on, and all kinds of very cool events that are happening. There's some giveaways and different things like that that will be happening. So please check that out, support, and keep supporting local because that's very much appreciated. And everybody who has come along and joined me or been watching me go through this journey, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, not only for that part of my life, but also for Survivor Girl and everything else that's been going on. It's just incredible to see the love and support from everybody, and I appreciate that 100%. And then some, really, to be honest. So, just really wanted to kind of talk about that because going from 0 to a million is just like, wow, what do we do? This is a crazy roller coaster, which is okay. I'm not complaining about that because I honestly do feel extremely blessed with that. But how do you juggle everything, and how do you stop and go, okay, you take a breather for a minute, and here's this, and this that I'm doing, you guys. So if you can understand, I will get through everything I can, I promise. But today was kind of my first day of relaxing after the past 3 weeks, and even then I was still working on stuff, which is okay because it's the fun stuff. I get to do a lot of really cool fun stuff, and try to look at it that way because when you are um, dreading working or working on things that you truly love, that makes it really difficult, and that's when you have to start deciding whether or not you're going to change it up and try something new, because once it starts to feel like work, it's not fun anymore, is it? So, with that being said, I absolutely love making these things handmade, and from going to back, what was it, 8 years ago when I started doing the jewelry, it was just kind of something I always wanted to do. I come from a very crafty, talented musical family. My mom was really into ceramics and sewing and music, and my dad was into music and Bob Ross paintings, which he has made some incredible paintings, honestly, and to just listen to the happy little trees and all the happy accidents when he was painting was fun. So I give a shout out to him. And then of course my brother, the child prodigy of music and art, and being able to sound like pretty much anybody you can think of, it was awesome growing up in a cool family like that. My mom's side of the family were pretty much inventors and all that stuff, always thinking, always doing, always trying to connect things and make things work. And I'm so thankful for that because I've learned so many different things and have picked up on that. So, those kind of things you think about in life and you go, yeah, I'm very thankful for that kind of stuff. But growing up, I went through a phase where someone would give me a compliment, and it just, okay, not a phase because it really didn't taper off until I'd say maybe last year, where people would give me compliments and stuff, and I didn't know how to take them. Because there was a point in life when I felt like if I was like, oh yeah, I did that it would feel cocky or I would come off as somebody that I'm not. And I try my very best to be very humble about that kind of stuff because it does mean a lot to me to have support and for people to compliment me. I'm getting better at it. I'm trying to be better and not be so hard on myself about things because once you start doing that kind of stuff too, then you start to not like what you're doing. So instead of being super nitpicky about things, I've kind of laid back a little bit and just kind of had fun with it. To be able to relax in your craft and to enjoy what you do and not pick on everything is really a talent in itself, to be honest, because all of us that are creative and talented and do different things, I feel like pretty much everybody that I know is very nitpicky on their work, and it's kind of funny because when the person that it's for or whatever, for an example, um, they generally don't even notice the little things that we notice, and they are absolutely in love with what you've done, and you're going, really? And I'm really bad at this. Like, I will point out everything, and I have to learn not to do that because if they really do love it, and I did do it with sincerity and with love, then I need to learn how to just accept that because if they are absolutely 100% in love with it, I need to not nitpick at it. And I think that's really hard for a lot of people. So, when you're a creator and you do these things and you love to make different stuff and you want to be your best, we have to learn how to kind of relax a little bit because that stress is not good for anybody. Not anybody, but I know we all have experienced this, and maybe we still do it. I'm trying my best to try to get away from that. And another thing I'd like to kind of talk about with that being said is the stuff that I make. Tony's brought it up on Don't Make This Weird. We've brought it up on here, different things. Dragonfly Boutique is the main page that I'm on for my jewelry. That's the business name. And the thing is I make things out of circuit boards, eyeglass lenses, and keys. And it's been kind of funny because when you think about that, and you think about that being a piece of jewelry, you probably can't imagine it, or you think, why would somebody buy something like that? And there has been comments about things like that, such as, that's trash. So why would someone want to make something like that? Different things, which the old me would have been like, excuse me, hold on a minute, and get offended by that or whatever. But until you actually see what it is that I make, I can understand where they'd be coming from, thinking, how could that be something that's pretty or a piece of artwork or whatever. And but with that being said, I've had so many good responses from people, and that they want more or different orders or different colors or whatever, that I've come to go, okay, there's going to be some people that just don't understand it or they don't see it, and that's okay because it's something that I I don't even know where it came from. It was just, I have these pieces, I want to do something with them. And, you know, I wouldn't probably have seen it before either. So it's been kind of cool to see other people go, oh, wow, that's unique. That's interesting. That's cool. And for me to be able to go from the ones that don't see it or they don't like what I've done to go, okay, that's all right. You have an opinion and that's okay. If you're not going to buy it, that's fine. Other people are, and try to turn it around to be positive. And that has always been something that's been hard for me in my life, to see the more positives instead of those couple that were a little bit negative or whatever. And that's another thing, I kind of want to talk about is those kind of things. If we dwell on them too much, really can disrupt what it is that we're trying to do for the bigger picture of things. And there's always going to be people that don't get your vision. There's going to be people that are less than impressed with whatever it is that you've done, or there's always going to be somebody that might be saying something about you, or maybe what you're wearing, or your color of your hair, or your job that you're doing, or whatever it is. There's all kinds of things that we can be criticized for. And I guess that used to be a big thing to me, because in my life, even when I was little, all I wanted to do was just have people like me. And as I get older, it's not that I don't care about people. It's not that I don't care about what others think and what their feelings are. It's just I'm finally starting to care about what I feel and what's best for me. And that took a long time. That took a long time to get to that point. So I guess what I'm trying to say without rambling on further about it is that, you know, there's going to be those people that don't understand your vision and don't like a lot of things that you do. And that's okay, because they're going to have their opinion. Best thing that I think we can all do is just go, okay, well, that's why we're over here doing our own thing with the people that support and love us and get our vision. Then you can do your own thing and so I'm trying to really stay positive and focused on that kind of thing, because it's easy to get caught up into that. And as someone that has anxiety and depression and ADD, I think, a lot of hyperness and stuff that gets me in trouble sometimes. It's too much to add more and worry. And one of those things is worrying about what other people think or what it is that you're doing. So, I kind of have learned to embrace that I am perfectly imperfect, that I do things differently than a lot of people. And, I was talking with a young lady yesterday about her emotions, and it hit home to me because she is the age, I think she's 12 years old. And we were talking, and she said that she cries a lot, that she gets emotional, that she gets upset, that she's embarrassed, and she hates it when people see her cry, and that's one of the things that she feels annoyed about herself. And I thought, wow, you are so grown up for 12. to sit here and talk to me about your feelings at that young of an age. I said to her that I felt the same way growing up. That me being emotional and crying about things and feeling things on a deeper level, I used to be the same exact way. I felt the same way that she did. And I told her the sooner that she can embrace that and be proud of herself, because actually that is strength in my eyes. And I said, this is just my opinion. Not everybody has the same one. But if you can embrace that and start to love yourself for who you are now, oh, that would be such an incredible thing for her at such a young age to be able to keep, moving forward and to embrace that already. So it's kind of how I learned to look at things, and it took a long time. I mean, I'm just turned 40 this year, so it's taken a long time for me to embrace that and to be okay with it. There's still times that I have an issue with it and I feel overwhelmed. And there's situations where when you feel overwhelmed like that, that it can cause you to cry and get emotional about stuff. And then you're worrying, oh man, who else is looking at me while I'm going through this, and feeling this moment so deeply. Some people just don't have those emotions and those feelings. And it's not easy for them to understand when you are having those kind of moments where you have like a breakdown or whatever it is, the emotions that overwhelm. I'm a mush ball, so I always warn people when I start talking to them that that's me. I cry and I say things that most people probably wouldn't, that are a bit mushy, but I can't help that. That's who I am, and I embrace that, and I'm okay with that. And the people that understand that are cool with it too. So, but having that conversation, yeah, Tony's over there going maybe. Having that conversation though with such a young girl yesterday, and hopefully helping her direct into the right path of everything is, it felt good to have a conversation with somebody at that age and go, if you can embrace that, you are so much further than I ever was at that age. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I know people that I generally don't cry when I get mad, but I do know a lot of people that do, and it takes a lot for me to really get angry. But I feel the overwhelming from everything. It may be a little bit different though now with adrenal fatigue and stuff, and that's why I hear Tony kind of giggle over there. Because that's a whole other situation, and we'll get into that. That's fun. But I guess the thing is I think the sooner that we can embrace who we are helps a lot. And it's hard though. Like even as adults, and I know everybody here in the studio, you guys feel it too as an adult. Can you imagine being that age and already going, oh, something's wrong with me. Something's different.
I don't think I've slept since I've been 16.
Yeah.
And that's being extra generous with the time.
Right. I'm looking on, I think I'm live on, saying I'm live on YouTube right now, but I don't see where chat is at anymore.
It's the live button. It should be right there next to the share and like. Which, while you're doing that, all of the listeners right now, if you are listening, like, share, and subscribe, because YouTube once again changed their platform for streaming. So if you could just check that little subscription button and make sure that the notifications are select all. That way, when Heather goes live, you guys can be able to see her beautiful, lovely face.
Oh boy, that was. See, now it's taking me to restream. I don't even know. Technology. I'm not good at that. I see that there are people joining in, so thank you guys for joining in. I'm not seeing the comments and stuff, so if you guys are chiming in, and yeah, if you want to. If you guys are chiming in right now, I apologize that I can't see what it is that you're saying, but I do appreciate that you guys are hanging out with me tonight on a Sunday night, and I will be back next Sunday as well. Usually I take the last Sunday off, but because I went on a little adventure another Sunday ago, I decided to take that time off and enjoy it while I was gone. But what you got?
Adam chimes in and says, sounding fantastic. Oh. And Mary chimes in and says, hey, my soul sister.
Hey! I'm excited about both of you guys being here. Thank you guys.
And the lovely, eloquent Dawn chimes in and says, hey, Mary.
I love. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that. Seems how Mary's here, Dawn's here, you're here. I want to talk about how awesome it is to meet a kindred soul, and to be able to be like, man, I feel myself around these people because we were just talking about how we feel uncomfortable about being ourselves,
Mhm.
and about emotions and crying and all this stuff. When you meet somebody and you're just like, wow, I don't have to like guess or not guess, but question if they're gonna think I'm weird about what I'm wearing, what I'm saying, how I'm feeling, what I'm expressing. I love that stuff. And as I get older, like it seems like I find that more and more as when you I mean, it's hard to compare being a teenager and to being where we're at now because it's been so long. But, it is really hard to compare that because when you're in school, it's cliques, it's all that stuff. But really, sometimes in life, there's still that kind of, excuse me, stuff that's going on. Yeah, that just happened. There still is that stuff kind of still going on in life, even if we are older. But it's kind of, I want to say that I'm thankful to be able to run with crowds that aren't like that. I love
Mhm.
that. However, I did experience a little bit of a situation like that. And I felt really oddly okay. I was just like, okay, I'm not your cup of tea. That's all right. Like, honestly, before though, I would have been like, why does this person not like me? And I'll be honest, that wasn't that long ago that I really felt that way. And since letting that kind of go and just being okay with just embracing who I am and doing what I got to do, and I feel much better. I feel a lot better than worrying all the time about what people are going to think. Hey, that's a tough one. It takes a lot to finally get to that point, and to have people though in your circle, in your corner, that are like just kindred spirits that you feel that you've known them forever. For instance, Dawn and I have known each other for quite a while now. I don't even know how long, which is sad. I'm sorry, but it's been a while. And then I feel that connection with you. I got to meet Mary and Rodney like about a month ago, and I already felt that connection there. It's been an incredible like family feel, and I like that. Like that's if you have those kind of people in your life, do not let them go because they're very hard to find. There's a lot of trouble, a lot of things out in the world that people are facing, and there's just some people that just don't know how to love like that, don't know how to just be themselves, don't know how to just be comfortable, and there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. And I hope and I pray for those people that they're able to feel comfortable and be happy with themselves because it really does push people away. And to not be able to experience the things that we get to experience like that is, I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine it. Oh, I thought you were going to say something to me. Oh, I thought you were clicking.
I mean, I can. There's stuff in chat, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell me what's up.
Mary chimes back in and says, "Hi, Dawn," and then says, "Nice, Tony." So I don't know what that was pertaining to, but yeah.
Cool.
So chat's.
Well, and I don't know if she was started on the show when we got to go, but I gave a shout out to Hometown Handmade. Mary is the one. Her and Rodney are pushing that store and bringing along everybody, and everybody that they brought along has that vibe, that feel, that family feel. It was so cool because grand opening, everybody was there that is involved in the store. All the crafters, artisans, what have you, were all there for the grand opening. And they just recently had met Cassie, who does Cassie's Natural Treats, and her husband was there. Adam and him were hanging out, and Rodney, and it was like they knew each other, like they've known each other and have been brothers forever. And then, of course, TJ from Flames and Flicker Candles, same thing. Just everybody, all the ladies, all of us got along very well. Like we knew each other forever, and it was an incredible family feeling, And one of the things that when I post about Hometown Handmade is that it feels like home there, which it really does. When you walk into the store, which is really cool because everybody, Mary and her family and Vicky and them had worked so hard to get everything just right. And you walk in and it's not overwhelming. It's really, you have the scent of the candles that are amazing, and you see all of just beautiful stuff. And you go, that was made by somebody in Michigan. Like, this is not a manufactured thing. This is all handmade. And you can tell, you can see like the love that was put into every piece that is in the store, and it was just awesome to see how everybody got along like it was already a pre-made family. Like I thought I've known you forever. So and it was cool because Adam got to hang out with other dudes and got to become like it's like wow, you guys seem like you've known each other. So that was really cool. It just was a really awesome feeling, and to see again the love and support of everybody coming together it was cool, and I look forward to many more of those moments in the next 6 months while we are still building and getting everything going, and so it's been a really cool experience with that too. And that's another thing too, when we go back and we talk about how we kind of limit ourselves and we worry about things and we don't take chances and we don't we're critical about our work and we're critical about everything that we do. You kind of miss out on those kind of opportunities too. I've been there before, and I'm sure a lot of you have, where you may have canceled on doing something because you just felt overwhelmed by something, or you had every good intention, you were going to go to do these things, and I've caught myself doing it where I'm just like, no, I'm just going to stay home in my PJs. I'm not going to. And then when I pushed myself to go, it was like, wow, I had a lot of fun. There's been barely any times that I've actually decided to go do something where it was absolutely the worst thing I decided to do. Every time that I've ever pushed myself to go and do something, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, that was incredible. That was fun. But to talk yourself up to be able to step out and do these things sometimes is a chore.
Mhm.
It takes a lot. And, I know all of you out there that have anxiety, get me. You understand what it means to not be able to step out. And there's so many people out there that have it. And I bring up anxiety and depression a lot because a lot of us face it. If I kind of always felt like if you put a whole bunch of people in a room, which they don't do right now, but eventually, you put a whole bunch of people into the room and you say, who suffers from anxiety? Raise your hand. How many of those people, unless they're lying, do you think don't have it? I really highly doubt. There may be a couple hands that go up, and if they haven't experienced it yet, I feel like they're going to at some point, because I feel that our world is so fast paced and that we have to do so many stuff, and everybody expects things like time right now, right now, right now, right now, that instant gratification, that it puts everybody into a frenzy with anxiety. And then when you can't live up to that right now, right now, right now, then you get into that depression. I feel. Okay, again, I am not a psychiatrist, so this is just me kind of talking about what I've experienced and what I've experienced with other people. So please don't take this as I can either subscribe or prescribe, or do any of that stuff or treat, because I cannot. What I'm speaking from real experiences that I've dealt with, that I've seen other people deal with. So I feel like with all of that pressure in this world to make sure you're doing your job, you're getting there on time. If you're late, you're in trouble. If you're not feeling good and you call in, you're in trouble. If you have to switch a day around or whatever, you're in trouble. It's like, why do we always have to be in trouble? Really? Can we chill for a minute? Can you take a moment?
Hey Heather, you're in trouble.
No, I'm not. I've decided. No, I'm not. I've decided that I'm not going to put that much pressure on myself anymore, because it's not worth it. And with some, dealing with anxiety to begin with, it's not worth it. I will, we talked about doing customs at the store, which, like I said, there's a handful of us that can. But we have to be honest with everybody when we take these customs. It may take up to 2 weeks. These are handmade. This is what we're doing. And we talked about not putting pressure on ourselves and making sure we give ourselves enough time to be able to do this stuff. So, to be able to first say that, and then would you possibly miss out on a sale? That's possible, because like I said, people want it now, but with that being a manufacturer, it takes a little bit more time. So, we kind of all just took a breath and went, okay, we can do that. As long as we say that we can't do it right away, this is how it's going to go, because you never know on any given day how many customs you're going to get or whatever. But that's also part of going, okay, I'm taking a breather. I'm gonna take a minute. I'm not gonna put this pressure on myself, because it's not worth it for your health. it really isn't. And that's something that I still have some pressure with every now and then. I'm not going to tell you that everything is perfect and with a drop of a hat, I was able to just be like, oh, I'm good now. It's over. I don't have to deal with that anymore because that's not the truth. What do you got? I'm getting hot. I wore a hat and a sweater thinking it's going to be cold here.
It's a little warmer, isn't
Yeah.
it? No, yeah, the fact that you're expounding on that, I think, is a great place that a lot of people need to take that mental and emotional inventory
Mhm.
because you're right. We are all hard on ourselves, harder than anybody else on the face of the planet, for that matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is in your corner, or And here's another thing that I'm famous for doing too is that inner dialogue of what you think somebody else is saying or thinking. We don't know, and half the time, I'm gonna be honest with you, half the time I am so far. Okay, there's a difference between the gut feeling and what you're making up that you think somebody's feeling. A lot of times, I am so far off of the mound that it's crazy, and I'm going. If I wouldn't have thought that in the first place, I would have just had less stress about the whole situation. And how many of you have actually felt that before and have dealt with that, where you're thinking, oh man, this person absolutely cannot stand me. They're mad at me, they're this, and then you talk to them and they're like, you kidding me? I didn't even think, I wasn't, are you really? Really? So that's another thing I think that we could focus on. Maybe going into the next week, little baby steps of working on these things to try to find some inner peace and inner balance within yourself, to not put so much pressure on what you are doing and not what everybody else is thinking. I think that right there is something that we all kind of need to start taking steps towards, because I feel a lot of people deal with this. Not you're saying okay, so that's not easy, and I give credit to everybody who is on this path of trying to not do the inner dialogue, not worry, not stress over so much, and not sit there and go, yep, I looked wrong at my boss today and I am fired. Like it's interesting how those kind of thoughts can come up in our heads, and it'd be something so innocent, and you're just trying to derail yourself within your own inner dialogue. And I probably sound like I'm crazy because a lot of the times that's some of the stuff that I used to really have a hard time with. But as I find myself getting more comfortable and going, okay, this is me. I'm just gonna be me, and that's just what it is. Because the older I get, the more I'm not being a jerk. I'm not trying to treat people differently or be that kind of person. But I'm also not trying to be a jerk to me. And I know last episode I talked about not being a bully to yourself. And I hope that you guys were able to listen to that episode and have been practicing not being a bully to yourself. And I guess this kind of comes along with that. Because that inner dialogue can definitely be a bully. It can keep you from doing the things that you need to do or that you want to try, and that right there is not living. It's not living when you don't try something that you wanted to do, or I don't know. It's really hard to. I don't want to say it's hard to explain, because it really isn't hard to explain, because when you stop and you look at it, when you're little, you have an idea of what you want to be when you grow up. Now that changes as we get older, because I used to want to be a dancer, and not the wrong provocative one, like tap dancing or something like that. And I have 2 left feet, honestly. I mean, actually, last night I was cutting a rug at Leon's wedding. Congratulations, Leon and Melanie. We love you guys. I actually was dancing, and for the first time, I was like, I don't care what anybody thinks. And Adam was out there doing the chicken dance, and he was up there just going to town and dancing, and I was like, I didn't know that he would do that. I mean, he's pretty outgoing and pretty positive, but I was honestly really shocked when I seen him doing the cha-cha slide and all that. I'm like, whoa. Go you! You do not even care right now. You are having fun. You don't even know these people, but you're having a great time. I thought that was cool. I like that about him, because he's just like, I'm me, whatever. And always has like a positive spin on things, you know, and I'm trying very, very hard to be that positive too, because it's not something that is I feel is really learned. I think it's just going through the process of it and the steps of everything to get to that point. So, you know, again, these things change as we get older. You know, like I said, I wanted to be a dancer. And then when I was in high school, I wanted to be a massage therapist, a phlebotomist, a hairstylist. I mean, so many different things have changed throughout my life. And that's another thing that's okay. That's okay. Our original plans don't always mean that they have to be executed. If you did and you stuck with what you really wanted to be, more power to you. That's awesome. Like, because throughout life we change so much. We change our styles. We change our perspectives. We change our thoughts and how we act. I mean, there's a lot of things I do now that I see my mom in, and I go, "Whoa, when did that happen?" Because when I was younger, I was like, "I'm not gonna be like you. I'm not gonna act like you." And oh my God, do I act like her? It's okay though. I cherish that actually. But you know, we change so much as we grow and we learn, and you know, we go through what we grow through, and a lot of times that's not easy stuff either. But I want to just really talk about not giving up on. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna rewind that a little bit. I want to kind of touch on no matter what age you're at, having an idea or something that you want to try or want to do. And I know we've talked about this before, and I'm really not trying to be a broken record about it, but I feel it's important going along everything that we're talking about tonight is to not shy away from trying something new because of your age. If you are, you know, like for instance, I'm 40. My friend Mary that has started the store, she's younger than I am, but you know, here's the thing: we're at different levels in our lives, and to try something like that is very scary. But the opportunity was incredible. You know, and I'm hoping I want to get her on. I did a little bit of a Survivor Girl spotlight. So if you guys go back to Survivor Girl Facebook page, you can see that spotlight with Mary, and I got a chance to kind of talk with her. She showed us around the store. There is an incredible story behind Hometown Handmade, and I'm hoping to get her on. So I'm not going to go too much into that because I really want to have some more time with her to kind of talk about this. But here's the thing: is we're at different stages in our lives, and just like everybody here in the studio, we're all at different stages in our lives, and I feel like we kind of cheer each other on to try these different things. Sometimes I'm a little bit crazy. And I'm like, I'm doing 50 things today. Try not to do that as much because it really does wear you down. But I feel like no matter where you're at, if you have a dream and you want to try something, if you truly want it, you're not going to stop at the first excuse that comes to mind. And we do that too, and we've talked about that. I know countless times on these episodes because I think it was the big snooze we talked about with Jensen Cheryl that kind of goes along the lines of that about not giving up, not allowing yourself to go, okay, I don't have money to do this. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I kind of feel like that's kind of part of the story with Hometown Handmade. And it was just interesting how everything just kind of shuffled and went, and it made it possible to happen. And I feel like that I really do want to share that story and have her come on, or her come on to share the story, because I want you guys to see what faith, what determination, and what not shutting up about stuff does. And that's not dig at you, Rodney. I love you. He he was very forward about what Mary's dream was and the support from him, and how he was pushing it out and going, okay, I watched you come from this to this. Let's do this, and not stopping talking about what you want to do can be an incredible ripple effect and can push you so much further. So, you know, I had a moment yesterday. We were celebrating at Leon's wedding, and Adam is just over the moon talking about how I'm a part of this store and how proud he is of me. And I said to him, "Okay, can we just not talk about it for a little bit?" Because you know, there goes that thing in your mind where you're going, "Okay, people are going to get tired of hearing about this," or, you know, that moment of, okay, let's kind of chill for a second because I'm afraid of what everybody else sees. So I still have those moments. And he goes, why? Why do you not want to talk about this? And I said, I don't know. I don't really know. Because he was very proud, and he is very proud, and he wants to shout it from the rooftops. And I feel that with so many people, as the phases change in my life and the people that come in and come out and, ebb and the weave of life is just, it's been interesting. And, with him being so positive and wanting to share, and I swear he's told every stranger that he's met, that this is what's going on and this is what's happening. But that's part of success in everything that's going on. When you talk about these things and you put it out there and you put yourself out there, that's when you get more people to go, oh, really? Okay, I'll come check it out, or I'll do this or whatever. And that's an incredible feeling too. When people are genuinely interested. It's a cool thing to be able to go from worrying about and putting yourself into a tiny little box to getting out of that and getting away from that tiny little box and just being yourself, taking it and trying out different things. And it's scary. It's totally scary because you get comfortable in this little box. It feels like, the genie lamp in a way. You get comfortable, you set up shop, and you're just like, okay, this is my box.
Speaking of talking about your stuff and not shutting up.
Yeah.
Here's the best part. I want to give you guys some numbers right now. This is episode 48.
Nice.
And you are more or less 20 subscribers away from equaling 100 subscribers.
Oh, that is awesome. That
so,
is so exciting.
Your listeners need to like, share, and subscribe even more so we can get that 100 mark.
Yeah, thank you guys. Survivor Girl people, all of you people that are supporters, subscribers, everything. If you have not subscribed yet, you hear now, what we need. If you guys can help share and tell your friends about it. Not every episode is going to be specifically for you, and I understand that because we talk about a lot of things. I have a lot of different guests on usually, and I'm working on getting more coming in. So it's not just me talking about my experiences, because that generally is what I really want to do, is continue with guests. So if you guys are able to like it and subscribe, share with your friends, there might be an episode that they desperately need to hear. Again, there's stories. He said, how many did you say we have?
Subscribers?
Yeah, no, how many episodes are we in?
Oh, we are episode 48.
I never, ever would imagine that I would be to episode 48, and that is awesome. And I couldn't do that without you guys. I want to give a thank you and a shout out to Tony and John specifically, and Nate, who's been here from the beginning. Hasn't been around lately. He's got stuff going on in his life, and I just want to give a shout out to you guys, to solidstateradio.net, and to all the subscribers and friends and, all of you thriving survivors out there that help to support and push out episodes and the channel. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I mean that sincerely.
And you're meeting the requirements for the achievements on Twitch. We just need more people to engage in chat and get those numbers up, because we're getting subscribers. We just need more to hit those marks.
All right, so you guys here, I'm gonna give you guys the challenge for next Sunday. If you have not liked and subscribed on Twitch, is that the same thing as on YouTube? I can put the link out for Twitch.
I shared the link on my page, but we can also share it on Survivor Girl page. And you follow on Twitch.
Okay, you can follow on Twitch. If you comment in Twitch and interact, there's games too, isn't there? There's stuff that you can do while you're listening to the
Stream
podcast.
Legends.
Stream Legends. There's different things that you can do. Twitch usually started out more as like a gaming kind of community, but it has come up to become very popular for podcasts and different things. And when you guys interact and you do those kind of things, we get closer to being able to do subscriptions and getting some funding to help towards the episodes and things, and getting different guests on. Eventually, I would like to go a little bit further and have maybe some celebrity or more popular people come on as well. Not that I don't appreciate the guests that we have now, but that would be incredible to hear some of their kind of stories with the things that they deal with on their daily. I can't even begin to imagine being in the spotlight 24/7. I would not. I don't think I'd fare very well with that. I just, because obviously, if someone that has anxiety and depression and things, I would feel going back to, like we talked earlier, of that mentality or that age of where you felt like everything you did was being judged or, criticized. I can't even begin to imagine how they feel. And so that would be interesting to talk with people that are more in the spotlight too. But, again, we have so many incredible guests and we've had a lot, and I appreciate them too. I want to give a shout out to the ones that have joined me on the show to tell their stories, because that's courage. That's courageous. To be able to sit in front of a camera and talk about some of the darkest times in your life, some of the things that could have stopped them and not kept them going, is just incredible. And I just want to give a shout out to them too, because that takes a lot of guts to do something like that. And I appreciate you guys joining and sharing, because we've had listeners tune in and message and say, thank you for being, open about everything and for sharing your story, because I feel like I'm not alone. And that right there is really the whole premise behind Survivor Girl, was to be able to inspire and uplift and to have people come and share their story, to let people know they're not alone. We all face something and we all feel something. We all go through things that maybe we don't want to talk about. But when you get in front of the camera, like I'm doing right now, and talk about it and bare your soul and, share everything without hesitation, it can be scary, and going and doing the show, on my own, being here by myself, has been kind of interesting to talk about these different things in life and be honest with you guys about, this is really what I've dealt with. This is what I've experienced, and to know that, there could be somebody who has an opinion about it and could say whatever about anything that I've shared. I mean, there was an episode where I took my makeup off in front of everybody, which, it was a little bit scary, because we tend to try to cover up our imperfections, and that's part of the makeup. For me, makeup makes me feel better, but, bearing it and going it. Look, I have scars on my face. I have all kinds of things. I talked about PCOS last week, about having hair growth and things like that, that most people would never even dream of sharing with anybody, especially on the internet, where anybody could say whatever behind their keyboard. But it's part of my growth, I feel. It comes with going, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I'm sharing, because I feel like there's other people out there that worry about that kind of stuff. And, I want to try to inspire others to feel like, okay, yep, if she can say that on camera live in front of people, then I can deal with this too. And that takes a lot to, like I said with other guests, that takes a lot for them to share their stories, to talk about some of the darkest things that have happened. I've talked about, surviving cancer and thriving through that, about my stalker, about losing my boyfriend Zach to overdose. And this month has been kind of interesting with that stuff, and talking about losing my mom to her battle of cancer. And in September, this month is very, very hard, because September 1st was my mom's birthday, and September 9th was Zach's birthday. So I dealt with the emotions of that, and going through not being able to celebrate with them like you normally would. Those kind of losses are very, very hard. I knew my mom was passing away, and I knew that we only had a certain amount of time with her. So her and I were able to work through some of the things, talk to each other about all the things that we wanted to talk about before, she had left. And with Zach, it was just an instant. So, and to deal with both of those things, and to kind of, when their birthdays are together that close, it was interesting to still continue to put on my brave face and to keep going forward, even though I really, really, with the colder weather, wanted to just snuggle under a blanket and be like, okay, tonight I'm done for the day. We'll see you maybe in a week. And that's a really real feeling. And that's hard. That's a hard one to overcome sometimes. I've been there where I didn't feel like getting out of bed. I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like showering. I didn't. I've had those moments when mom and him passed away. I'll be honest, I had that moment where I was just like, there's a tree. Nobody would know it was an accident, right? And I tell you this because I am at a healthy place in my life now where I don't do those kind of things. I don't think those kind of things. And at that time, because I was experiencing such overwhelming grief that I I wasn't making heads or tails of reality of stuff. You know, it was a very hard time to deal. And at that point, I was very vocal about going, hey, normally I wouldn't think of that, and I need your help. You know, I came to my friends and I said, well, this happened today, and this is what I was thinking. I did not do this, but this is where I was. So, you know, I've experienced a lot of ups and downs, and honestly, I am beyond grateful that I had the people that I had to talk to and to be able to come out of that and thrive and survive. Because look at the difference from it's been 6 years since cancer in my mom, and wow, a lot has happened in 6 years, you guys. A lot has happened. And I'm very thankful that I did not just give in and throw in the towel. I would never imagine that this is where I would be today. And I hear that a lot with a lot of people that have experienced those kind of things and decided that they were not done, but they wanted to keep on moving forward and wanted to keep on trying and trying and trying and trying again. But to think about it and to look back where I used to be to where I'm at now, I'm very glad that I did not take that split instant thought and went with it because I'm happy to be where I'm at now. Like I said, days are rough. There's times, obviously, at the beginning of this month, it was a very, very hard time for me. And then I've been dealing with my ESA and my cat. Unfortunately has cancer, and that's kicking my butt. That is true. I have cried, I think, more than I've ever cried, and he's more like a family member because I've had him for almost 17 years, and it's hard to watch him declining and to see that because he is like a kid to me, and I know there's some people out there that don't believe in that, but it's fine because that's me. This is me, and that's been hard too. And I'm sure Adam's having a hard time seeing that because I'll be like holding him and I'll just start bawling my eyes out because I can feel his backbone. I can see where now the tumors are growing in his mouth and he's drooling all the time and it's bloody and you know that's heartbreaking. And to know when do I make that decision of when enough is enough or do you let him, you know what I mean? So I've been facing that along with everything, all of the amazing stuff though. Like, so where do you go with that? You have great things happening, and then you have these things that are just like, oh my heart, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can hold it, you know, together. So I've been focusing more on the positives of that I can. I deal and face the things that are not as positive that are heart, that you know, touch your heart and make you have a little bit of tears in moments, and I deal with those. Not always gracefully, but I do, and I think that's part of it. You know, to not give in to those moments, to accept them, to embrace them, to deal with them as you need to deal with them. Don't push them away. Deal with them, and try to focus on the great things. Because if you look back to like I said, 6 years ago, I would never imagined I would be at this point, and to have those opportunities, and also deal with some of the heartbreak, it goes hand in hand. It's really weird how you have these amazing positive things, and then you still have things that are darker. You know, there's the dark and the light, and I hear that, and I've heard that before that you have to have dark with the light, and I don't. I feel like that's a theme throughout my life too. You know, and none of us are. Um, Spared from any kind of heartache, grief, um, pain. I don't think any of us are spared from those kind of things. And I feel for you guys. Like, I understand we all face things differently, but you're human. And again, I talked about being kinder to ourselves, and I think that's part of it too. You're going to face these things. And I've talked about grief before and how that hits whenever it feels like it wants to, and that doesn't make it easy, especially when you're doing a lot of things that you're finally at that point going, okay, I'm making it, I'm doing it, I got this going for me, and then it seems like there's something else that's like, oh, but wait a minute, your car's broken down, or you're dealing with something that you wouldn't expect to, maybe a relationship situation or a job situation or whatever. It just always seems like there's always something that's tugging when you're like shaking off of the balloons. I don't know. I it feels that way, and I know we've all experienced that. It's like, yeah, I got my happiness, I'm going, see you later, and then all of a sudden it's like, why is there this little like weight on my ankle that, I was almost off the ground, I was almost there. So I guess it's part of that balance too. I'm not saying that it's easy to embrace that, to go, okay, there's going to be some stuff that's going to be hard to get through. I've tried to look at it as lessons, and some people might think that's probably crazy because, again, we all have our different opinions, and this is just me kind of ranting about these things that have happened in my life. And I feel like that happens quite a bit. And I am not always graceful about dealing with this stuff. I do have my moments. I do. I'm human, just like all of you guys are. And yeah, I know, crazy, huh? Weird. But I guess if I can give you any kind of a thing to go with this week is to try to find that peace within yourself to continue to be your authentic self. We've talked about that before. To step out of your comfort zone, to try something new, and try not to worry too much about what other people are thinking. I think that would be the bigger one this week because we talked about all those other things. Try not to worry about the pressures so much as what's going on, at work or whatever it is that you're dealing with. Like I said, that whole worry of looking at your boss wrong and going, oh man, I'm fired today. Or, that's, I think those inner dialogue, maybe we need to kind of silence those a little bit and what we think other people are thinking about us or what we're doing. It's been crazy going back to work and learning all of the new stuff. And if you guys are just now getting back to work also, or if you've already been working and things are kind of changing up for you again, that's hard to deal with, and I've kind of felt that little bit of that pressure too, because it's interesting when you get up to go and out of your desk where you don't have to wear your mask, and then you go to walk somewhere else and you're like, I forgot it, or there's all these different things that are changed, for me, and it's been interesting going back to work and not trying to play into the inner dialogue because that's definitely happening a lot more now. So be kind to each other, be kind to yourself. Try your very best this week to try not to listen to the inner dialogue so much about what you think other people are thinking about you. Take a breather, relax a minute. Try to do what is best for you to make yourself feel good, make your soul feel happy, and just keep on thriving, keep on moving through everything because it's hard to do, but I believe that you guys can, and keep on living your life the best that you can, no matter what it is that you're facing. Because guys, remember, life is best lived. Thank you for joining me. Happy Survivor Girl Sunday. We will see you next Sunday, everybody. Take care.